Hi my loves, and welcome to your Cosmic Weather Report for the week ahead. I have so much to tell you this week. This is such a big week, so I want to get straight into it, and then I can make sure that I get everything in that you need to know. We begin this week with Mercury trine Chiron and Venus trine Uranus. So this is already going to be a really, really beautiful start to the week. As Mercury meets Chiron, this is going to bring the ability to be able to heal past wounds and to begin to mend your heart. And so anywhere that you're still living from a place of wounding, your past is still present and it's affecting the way you move through the world, anywhere that your heart is still a little bit kind of tender and sore, we're going to have this real ability at the beginning of this week to begin to heal some of those deep woundings, to become aware of them and what it is that needs healing. Now, it's beautiful energy that Venus trines Uranus on this same day, because this is an energy of being able to really freely and authentically start to express yourself. So understanding how perhaps things that have happened in your past or ways in which you try to protect yourself are actually preventing you from being you, and therefore causing more of the same wounding as more of the same thing perpetuates in your life. And so this is going to bring an energy of really now beginning to do things differently, beginning to look at what's happened in the past, but how now do I no longer want to keep carrying this forward with me, and how am I going to do things differently? So this is just such a beautiful day now to really look at the past and then forgive it and release it and let it go, so that you can begin to start to just show up as more of you, who you are now. You're going to be able to really see where you've still been living as versions of past you, and how you're now ready to let those versions of you go, let those stories go, let that wounding go, let the past go, so you can really begin to now be more freely and authentically who you are now. So also pay attention to anyone in your life that kind of benefits from these old versions of you. And this is a time now to really begin to show up as more and more of yourself. Now, this is just going to keep getting supported through the week. On Wednesday then, we get the Sun square Saturn, Mercury opposite Jupiter, and Venus then squares Neptune. So as the Sun squares Saturn, based on what you learned at the beginning of the week, this is a time now to really reshape the foundations of your life, to look at your inner structures, to look at your boundaries, to look at the wisdom you've gained. Saturn's the teacher of the zodiac. So what wisdom have you gained from the past, but how are you now ready to reshape those inner foundations and reset stronger boundaries and really begin to understand who you are now and what it is that you need now. Now, on the same day, Mercury opposing Jupiter helps us to begin to see the bigger picture. So begin to see perhaps why what's happened has happened, how it's all brought you to this place. And this energy also helps us to come out of our human mind, because our human mind wants to keep retelling the same stories and going over and over and over the same things and worrying about the same things. And because that happened, don't do that again, because that might mean this. And this is about now coming out of the human mind into the cosmic mind, into that understanding, that bigger picture, that everything you've been through in your life has brought you now to this place. And if you can gain clarity and wisdom and understanding around that, you can begin to then do things differently, which is what Venus square Neptune wants to really give us. Venus is our relationships, beginning with relationship with self and relationship with, let me get my words out, relationship with, this is Mercury retrograde. Whenever we're in Mercury retrograde, I cannot get my words out. Let's see if we can keep going. Venus square Neptune is about our relationship. So Venus's relationship with self and with the divine. And so when Venus meets Neptune, this gives us the ability to really be able to connect to our higher self, connect to our soul self, connect to the divine order and our soul's pathway and our soul's journey and our soul's plan, to again really begin to come into this place of presence and owning our soul's story and owning where we are and owning where we want to go next. And this is going to be further supported on Friday. We get a really beautiful big day on Friday. We get the Mercury Cassimi and Mars stations retrograde. So first of all, whenever we get a Cassimi, the word Cassimi means into the heart of the sun. So it's when a planet joins the sun, is conjunct the sun and moves into the heart of the sun. This happens when Mercury is direct, then happens again when Mercury is retrograde, and happens when Mercury is direct again. So this is now our retrograde Cassimi. And so what this means now is that we are going to be able to receive clarity and understanding and insights and answers and higher wisdom. Now remember that when Mercury stations retrograde, Mercury wants us to revisit old ground. So Mercury very often wants us to look at the past, to look at what's happened, and to now see it differently. And especially this Mercury retrograde happening in Sagittarius as we come to the end of a traditional year, this retrograde really wants us to look back over this year and to tie up any loose ends and to close things out and to not take anything with us into next year that we don't want to take with us. And so this Cassimi is going to give us this beautiful opportunity to gain some wisdom, some understanding, some clarity, some answers, and to really then begin to close off the year, to tie off those loose ends, to really begin to say, I don't want to take that forwards with me anymore. I'm ready to leave that behind now. And so we might find old things coming back up again. This can be exes, so just public service announcement, it can be exes. It can be old relationships with bosses, with family members. It can also be old situations where we get to see how we'd handle it now, and we get the opportunity to revisit that and handle it in a different way. So anything that's stirring back up for you, that's coming back around for you, this is a wonderful day to really gain that insight and understanding into all of this. And it's also a wonderful day to give anything you're struggling with up to a higher guidance. I don't know what to do with this, please help me. I can't make any sense of this, please help me. I don't know where to go next, please help me. I feel so confused, uncertain and unsure about this, please help me. So really use Friday to ask for any guidance that you need, to know that you're always being supported and guided on your journey. You're never alone, but you just need to ask for that help to come in. Now, when the same day Mars stations retrograde, now I did talk to you about Mars retrograde a few weeks ago, because if you remember, we're going to get Mars stationing retrograde in Leo. Mars is going to move back into Cancer, move back into Leo again. And we're going to have this Mars in Leo energy until June next year. So what's really important now about this Mars retrograde is that Mars is that planet of motivation, drive and desire. And this retrograde happening in Leo is going to take us into our heart and into ourselves. And it's really going to show us or ask us to go inwards and to really get to know ourselves. And Mars in Leo is all about big, brave, bold dreams and desires and what it is we want to create in the world. It brings a bit of a fire. And so some people may say that Mars retrograde in Leo dampens the fire, but for me, it asks us to stoke the fire within. So rather than looking for the things we want on the outside, we get to stoke that fire within. And especially now we're going into hibernation, the world around us, everything's kind of closing down. This is a beautiful time to go in and really look at whether your inner world is supportive of your big, bold dreams and desires. What work do you need to do on the inside? Where do you need to really find your self-worth and find your self-esteem and really find that brave, bold energy within you to know that you can achieve anything? So this is a really beautiful time now to discover and explore your inner world and stoke those internal flames of self-belief, self-worth, self-trust, so that then we're really ready to make those things happen next year as Mars stations direct again and moves back through Leo again. So use this opportunity to go in. Where do I need to stoke my inner fires? And again, is there anything around my heart that needs healing and tending to? Now, Saturday then, we get a huge day on Saturday. So the first thing I want to talk to you about on Saturday is that Venus is going to move into Aquarius. And as this happens, Venus is going to meet Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. This is huge energy. As we mentioned before, Venus is about relationship with self. It's about our values. It's about our worth. It's about how we show up in the world, who we're really here to be. And so as Venus meets Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius, this is asking you, who do you want to be in the new world that we're creating as Pluto moves to Aquarius. And what the world really, really needs now more than ever before is all of us showing up as our authentic selves. So taking off the masks, taking off the filters, taking off the armor, and just showing up as who we came here to be, not censoring ourselves, not dimming ourselves. So this energy is about show up now. Who do you want to be in this new world? Now, on this same day, the sun opposes Jupiter. This is all about expansion into yourself, allowing yourself to shine. Remember, we've got Mars just gone retrograde, that inner fire, that inner shine. It's about now allowing yourself to shine. It's about knowing who you are from the inside out and really allowing more of the true and authentic and pure you to begin to shine. On this same day, we get Neptune stationing direct. Now, as Neptune stations direct, this is an energy of connecting to your soul, connecting to higher self, trusting the part of you that's chosen to be here at this time, knowing that you have a purpose, knowing you are here on purpose, knowing that you're part of this big shift, and really starting to claim that. So really beginning to connect to that higher consciousness, cosmic consciousness, your soul self, and your deeper purpose, which comes from stoking those inner flames of really understanding who you are and really stepping into who you came here to be. Now, on this same day, we get Mercury square Saturn. Mercury squaring Saturn can sometimes bring a pessimism and a sadness and a like, ugh, energy. And this is beautiful, because what you will find if you pay attention is that that energy will be around the areas of your life where you're not free to be yourself, where you're not showing up as yourself, where you're not letting yourself shine. So if you look at those ways in which you're feeling sad around this day, it's going to be those ways you can't show up as you. So really pay attention to that. And then finally, I'm just going to get it in time for you. On Sunday, we get the first quarter moon in Pisces. So the first quarter moon in Pisces is all about the dreams, the desires, the allowing yourself to really connect to that part of you that chose to be here right now. It's about really going inwards again and finding what it is that you dream for yourself, what it is you desire, what it is that you want, what it is that you really want to manifest and bring to life. And this is also about connecting the spiritual you and the human you. That's what Pisces is around. We see the two fish. This is about spiritual you, higher self you, bringing down into reality and human you. So connecting those parts of you and realizing that you are a soul having a human experience, and spending some time around these days, really your intuition's going to be on point around this first quarter moon in Pisces. And so rather than trying to logic things or think about things, I want you to really pay attention on Sunday, on this first quarter moon, to just the deep intuitive nudges, the inner knowing, the signs, the synchronicities. I don't know about any of you, but I feel like my whole life at the moment has been lived by synchronicity. It's almost even blowing my mind. I'm like, wow. And the more I follow and the more I trust and the more I believe and the more I take that little hint from the universe and I go, okay, sure, I'm going to run with it. And the more then I'm like, oh my gosh, and now this and this and this. So please pay attention to how the universe wants to speak to you, how the universe wants to guide you, where you're being led towards to help you to begin to really know yourself and bring those dreams and desires within you to life, knowing that they are part of what's needed in the world next year. So there's going to be a lot of insights and wisdom flowing around the weekend. So this is a beautiful week. I hope I've got it all in there for you. So I knew I had so much to tell you about, but this is going to be such a powerful week now for healing the past and leaving the past behind, really stepping into a deep sense of self and knowing who we are, and really opening up to insights, wisdom, answers, guidance, and knowing, trusting that we're always being supported on this journey, and there is a part of you that chose to be here at this time and knows exactly what to do and exactly where to go. So I send you so much love for this week ahead, and I will be back with you next week.